There we go. Hi there all, my name is Grant Smith. I serve as president of the American Marketing Association. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We're really happy to have Kaitlyn Study from South Street & Co. come and join us today. But real quick, just to cover some bases, for any questions regarding GV points, you might want to try using the private chat feature. I'm not sure if that's enabled with it right now, but for any point or any questions regarding GV points, you'll want to direct that to us or amaucf@gmail.com. We promise GB points will be provided at the end of the event for you guys. But just to go over our agenda for tonight, Kaitlyn's going to be presenting today on social media analytics. We're going to talk about how to join AMA UCF, some of our upcoming events, and then we're going to be putting the Google form in the chat, and you need to fill out that form in order to receive any GB points for this event. So that 100% need to fill that out. All right, and without further ado, I'm going to pass things along to Paula.
Great, okay. All right, so hi everyone, I'm Paula and I'm the VP of Marketing for AMA. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick intro for our guest speaker today. So of course, tonight we have a well-known UCF alumni, Katelyn Steady. She's the owner of a local marketing agency called South Street & Co. here in Orlando. She is the brain behind the collection of Becoming the Local accounts on Instagram, and she's a creative coach to other businesses and startups in the area. We're so happy to have her here, me especially, because I happen to be her intern this semester at South Street & Co. And I actually came to know her at one of these guest speaker events that she did for us last semester. So that just kind of goes to show that if you're here at these events and you actively participate and you make them worth your while, that's a great initial step in the right direction for landing your dream internship. But that is enough about me. I want to have Kaitlyn take it away with her presentation on social analytics.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, you all. Thanks for having me back. I'm so excited to see you all virtually again, all of your boxes in front of me. So anyone who doesn't have their video on, I would love to see you. So thanks, Paula. Great intro. And also, side note, she's been doing a great job, everyone. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to give you all a little bit of a background. I graduated in UCF, from UCF in 2012, and then worked for a dermatology group. Believe it or not, I found my first job off of Craigslist and lived to tell another tale. So it is possible. I worked for the dermatology group, and when I started with them, they had a logo that I helped them rebrand to something memorable and recognizable, implemented social media marketing, email marketing, blogging, and SEO. And then the other half of my job was going out and meeting doctors who did refer or who could refer. And so when I started with them, they had 10 offices. And after a year and a half or so, I felt like I had reached a plateau. So I started working mornings, nights, and weekends to build up my clientele. And then after around 13 months or so, put in my notice. And in that time that I was with him, in the 2.5 years, I helped them double in size. So when I left, they had 17 offices in Central Florida and then 3 out of state. So now we specialize in helping small to medium-sized businesses grow their reach online, and our specialty is helping service-based companies reach a local clientele. So not necessarily local to Central Florida, but local to wherever they are. So with that being said, a lot of people are familiar with social media. So I'm sure everyone here has maybe a TikTok and an Instagram account. Maybe you've dabbled in creating some content of your own, which is amazing, but it's a little bit different when it comes to businesses. And it's a little bit harder when it comes to businesses, because at the end of the day, Facebook and all of these amazing companies that built these huge brands are businesses, and businesses are in business to make money. So it's not as easy to reach people on a business side. So with that being said, I'm going to do a screen share here and just get kicked off into the presentation. All right. So this was actually a fun presentation that I did for iHeartMedia. They wanted me to come down and kind of talk to their background team. So I thought it would be really great to just talk to you all about. And then afterwards, I have a program that Paula's been getting used to as well called Iconosquare. And I want to kind of walk you guys through how major, it's just like a huge thing, like a major part that analytics plays in our social decisions as well. So 4 things no one told you about your social analytics. part 1. You can track your main link on Instagram, and some of you may know about this. So this is a screenshot of our Instagram. Instagram is my personal favorite. I just think that you can do so many amazing things, and with all of the visual aspects, you kind of can tell a visual story without anyone actually needing to read your caption. So right here, this link right here, we have it, and actually we've updated it since this screenshot, but this is through a company called Linktree. And right here, this is what it looks like. So what we did, basically Instagram has one link, okay? So you have to be super smart in how you use that link. So we decided that we wanted to take people on a social journey per se. So they have schedule their free 30-minute call. Toolbox, our blog, portfolio, we kind of had like a little bit of fun with these little parentheses items. And then careers, because a lot of people ask us, hey, are you doing an internship or are you hiring? And then this is for our newsletter. So we wanted to get really targeted and really smart with the way that we sent traffic, because another thing too is these are 2 programs that you can use. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with Bitly. It's a link shortening program, and you've probably seen it. It's bit.ly and then / whatever your link is. And then Linktree as well, which looks like the link.tree and then / whatever your URL is. So the significance of this is that you can track through an outside source to see where your people are coming from and if they're clicking on your Instagram or frankly, any other link as well. So on Instagram, these are 2 really great options to track that traffic. So number 2, Instagram Analytics opens a sea of opportunities. So right here, I have some screenshots just showing you all of the things. And by the way, I'm going to talk about this. This is step 4. But by the way, all of the social sites that you use have analytics, whether or not you knew that. So if you didn't, every single platform that you use, they have social analytics. So on Instagram, it's called Insights. I'm sure you all have seen that, but you have your content up here, you have your activity here, and then you have your audience here. So content is how well your content's doing, likes, shares, interactions, engagements, all of that. Activity, this goes down into more in-depth analytics on that. So interactions, these are actions people have taken on your account, and it shows you the main days that they're most active. Profile visits, people that view your profile, website clicks, people going to your website, and then discovery. So these are people that discover you through hashtags, through someone tagging them in a post, but they're not necessarily followers. And then under here further, this is where you can see your reach versus impressions down here. So obviously reach is a little bit lower and impressions are a lot higher. So this is how many times people see a certain thing, and this is the amount of people individually that it reaches. So I really love looking at this because you can tell and you can test hashtags on Instagram as well to see what's working well and maybe what's not. So on this one, we dive into the audience. So this account at this time had 22,000 followers or so. So top locations is really important because if you're a business, you want to make sure that you're targeting the correct locations. And maybe if not, you should look at why people are coming from different locations. And you can do this using hashtags as well. And then obviously the location in your profile too. So the physical address. So for this account, it was Orlando primarily, Winter Park, Oviedo, New York, and Titusville down here. And then age range as well. These also are really important if you're looking to get advertisers. So if you're an influencer account looking to get advertisers, because people want to see, okay, well, what does your demographic look like? Is your demographic my target demographic? So right here, you can see the age range primarily is this 25 all the way up to 44 right here. And then you can even look at men versus women too. So number 3 is to track and follow hashtags to see what others are doing and how you can do it better. So we do something called hashtag research, and that's where on Twitter, you can just type in Orlando and see anything else that any other companies that are using Orlando right here. And then same thing for Instagram. I'm sure you all have seen this already. I follow a ton of hashtags that are relevant to marketing or relevant to the other accounts that we've built up. So like as an example, Orlando influencer, if I typed that in, you can follow the hashtag here. But one of the other things that you should note here is all of these related hashtags right here. So this is something really important because when you're looking to do hashtag research, you should look and see, first of all, are people on here people that I want to associate my business with? And also approximately how many likes and interactions are they getting? But also look at the related hashtags here, because if someone's hashtagging Orlando influencer, maybe some of these would be relevant too. So another example is if you search hashtag marketing, it has all of the related hashtags to the word marketing that you put up here. So Instagram is telling you, hey, this is related. These searches right here are related to this main search up here. And then what you can do is test the hashtags that are working based on your analytics and if there's an increase in traffic. And then number 4, every social site has analytics and you should be utilizing them. So all of the social sites that you all have access to, this is Facebook's, it has insights and you can see all of these items on the page. If you go over here, I believe this is, on the top of the page for the business manager, it's insights, and then you can click overview, and then you can toggle the last 28 days, however many days. And then these are actions, page views, page previews. So it basically dives into all of the analytics on the page. But this is something that you'll want to pay attention to for particular campaigns because you want to see how much traffic is being brought to your page. And then this is on Twitter. So this is just a screenshot of a 20-day summer or 28-day summary. And you can see top tweets, top media tweet, and then any tweets, impressions, profile visits, and followers too. So if you're doing a strategy, one thing that you'll want to do is just write down or use a program to see what your starting numbers are. And then based on what you do that previous week or that previous month, whatever area you're using to test, you would just go back and look at some of these numbers to look and compare. And one thing that's really important too is if, let's say you go to work for a company in their marketing department and you hire an outside agency like ours, one of the main things that you should do is ask for a report month over month so you can compare. So we send our reports out to clients each month so they can look at what went really well last month and then what went well this month and then areas of opportunity to improve. And then this is LinkedIn analytics. So LinkedIn runs ads and they're a little bit more expensive than Facebook or Instagram ads, but this is what the highlights look like. So these are reactions that people have had, comments, shares, and then you can see the metrics broken down right here. So once again, looking at these analytics and seeing like this one right here would be great to see what we posted and what got the most interactions or engagements. So that way we can do it again on the particular page. So if you all watch any sort of news, this is Vanessa Eccles, and I just think she's doing a great job with her social media because one of the things that a lot of people forget about is that social media needs to be social and it can definitely be personal. So right here, she's saying she wasn't at work today because she's spending some time with some kids and teenagers and just kind of told the story. And she did a post where she put 5 images here. I actually think it was more than 5, but this is a pro tip on LinkedIn. You can get credit for more engagement if you put more photos down here because people will click to view the rest of the photos instead of just being able to see them all on one screen and then scrolling past. But I thought this was just a really, really great example of how she's utilizing LinkedIn to kind of showcase some of her things behind the scenes. And it's not just, she also takes pictures of her at the, what do you call it, like a news desk or whatever, where she's filming the news. So it's just really cool. And you might think that that's just really basic. Who wants to see me behind a desk working? And you'd be surprised, a lot of people. I feel like social media is popular because people want to see what other people are doing. So think about the things that you do that may not be as maybe in depth as you were thinking that they needed to be. And those might be the things that actually do really well. And of course, follow the analytics. So Buffer is a social scheduling tool that we use to schedule out all of our clients' content and our content as well. They also have analytics set up to it. So programs like this are really great. And I'm going to show you another program after this and walk you through how deep you can go with analytics, especially on social media. So part 2 of this is repurposing your content gems. So once you see what worked really well on social media and what days exploded per se, you'll want to make sure that you repurpose that content in order to do it again and again in different ways and still engaging with your audience. So if you're wondering, what the heck does this mean? Or how do you even repurpose content? Or does that mean I just click on the button when I'm posting on Instagram to post to Facebook? Hold on. So all of these channels right here, you have the opportunity to repurpose content. So it doesn't necessarily mean just copy and paste whatever I put on Instagram over to Facebook or whatever I put on Pinterest over to Facebook, but you can rephrase how you say one particular item and then repurpose it for another platform. So whatever I post on Facebook could go on Pinterest, but I'll have to reformat how it's laid out and then obviously reformat the image too so that it fits. So I have an example for you all. Think about this when you're probably in your job and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time in the day. How the heck am I going to get all of this content out? If you're a content creator, this is something that we do on a regular basis, actually every other week or so for us. So step 1 is to do a Facebook Live and save it. So doing a Facebook Live, before you make it live, you can just hit the save button and it'll save to your phone. A Facebook Live should be around like 5 minutes or so to let people join, and you can talk about anything behind the scenes. Like for instance, I give marketing tips a lot of times. We do like frequently asked questions and then we answer them, but anything about the business on Facebook Live. Then step 2 is you'll do an Instagram Live or an Instagram story, and then you'll save that. So both of these are going to be saved to your phone. And then after you do the Instagram Live, step 3 is to go over to LinkedIn. So what I do is I pick my favorite one. If I like stumbled over a word or messed up something on Facebook, then I'll use the Instagram one because they're 2 separate times. So I'll go over to LinkedIn and manually upload that video from my phone to LinkedIn and put a caption and add some hashtags to it. And then step number 4 is to post it to IGTV. So then I pick whichever one I like, go over to IGTV, upload it. So remember, this is the same video. So you probably, right now, you're maybe at like almost 30 minutes in, but could you imagine 30 minutes of one piece of content versus that's basically taking care of your day for that particular piece of content. So then, and also you're repurposing it to all these different platforms, which is great because everyone that follows you isn't on every single platform. So you're reaching multiple audiences with the same message. So then what you'll do is you'll upload it to IGTV. And then what we do is we also, once the Instagram Live disappears after 24 hours, we'll promote that we did an IGTV later on throughout the week in case anyone missed it. So that's kind of an overview of social analytics and repurposing content, and that's a little strategy that we use. And from here, I wanted to pull up one of our accounts too. So one of the programs that I told you all about was Buffer, and another one that we've been using particularly for Instagram is Iconosquare. So Paula mentioned in the beginning that we have these other accounts called Becoming a Local accounts, and one of them is around Sarasota. So I built these accounts. We have 5 total, and I built them up to, I think the largest one has just under 50,000 followers. So think of them as kind of influencer accounts. So Iconosquare, you can post through it. We tested it and don't like posting. It's not as seamless as Buffer's integration and platform is. But over here on the left, you have your dashboard, your analytics, content, publishing, conversations, and listening. So this program takes a deep dive into analytics, and I love it. So right here, we're looking at our dashboard. So this is a custom dashboard that I created for just to kind of get an overview of everything that's going on. So you can add widgets over here, which are these things right here. And then this is the date range. So this was from January this year until the end of the month. So you can look at just an overview. So 27.7 thousand followers. This is the follower evolution. I think actually don't really exactly know, actually evolution of your followers during the selected period. Okay. Well, anyways, this is the engagement rate, and the brands that we work with, this is what they're really interested in. And this is a really great engagement rate that we have from this account. Normally 2.5 is really, really above. It's like 1 or like 0.9 is the average, but it depends on industry. And then we reached over 1.4 million people in that particular month. Sorry, those are impressions. And then reach is 855,000. And then profile views is about 5.3 thousand. But then down here too, it shows us the best time to post. So the engagement. So if you see down here, it has this little star, best time to post. So if you hover over this, it says Sundays at 10 p.m., which is super funny because you would have thought that Sundays at 10 p.m. would be really random, but this is when this audience engages. So right here, if you hover over it, it shows you the engagement rate. So this is a really high engagement rate too. So Sundays at noon are really good. If we hover over this, this is 2.5%, 2.3%, and then these ones are 2.9%. So this account does super well with its engagement. And then down here, we can just look at the follower growth over time and then average engagement rate. And this obviously just depends on any calls to action or anything else. And then it also shows most engaging posts. So you can sort, this is super cool, by most engaging, least engagement on reach, and then lowest engagement. So the key here, the reason that this is so important is because if we're looking, let's look at the least engaged. So this was the least engaged. This had only 99 likes and then 4 comments. So it got a 0.41% engagement rate versus the most engaging. I mean, look at this, 1.7 and then 44 people. This engagement rate is 7.67, which is just nuts. So obviously we want to see what we're doing well and what we're not doing well. So that's the significance of looking at most engaging versus least engaging so that we can see what worked well on the account and what didn't. So this is the dashboard page, but there's all of these just really cool, oh, I wonder why it's saying that. All of these really cool things that we look at each month. I don't know why it's saying that. So the overview, this is kind of the same thing, but this is looking at all of the numbers as far as, so the date range changed for this one. So everything dropped a little bit from all of the items that we were posting prior, but this is how you can see, okay, these are all of the most recent things that we've been doing. These show the stories and it shows the views on the stories as well. And then, oh, it also changed the account. Okay. That's why it looks like such a huge difference. So let me go back. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, okay, perfect. Yeah. So here we go. These are all of the accounts. So we can see the most recent posts and then we can see least recent on what did well, what didn't. We can look at stories too. So this analyzes all of the stories to see how many people looked at those and what did the best. And then one thing that I want to go to, so there's a lot of other really cool things. So under analytics, I mean, you can deep dive into engagement, community reach, and then over here under content, you can do look at posts and stories. And then this is where you can publish content. So they have their scheduler and you can upload items to your media library. And then conversations, you can interact on the accounts that you have synced on here too. So you can look at comments and then mentions. So I don't know if it's not loading because it says that there are some on here, but anyways, you can comment back through this platform, which is really, let me see if this works, which is really, okay, here we go. So this is really convenient because you don't have to go onto Instagram. You can just go down here and I guess the naked cowboy was in Sarasota. I don't know if you all have ever seen him in New York, but that's funny. So you can go down here and these are all the people that mentioned us. So probably tagged us in a comment or in, yeah, right here in an image. And then let me see if comments will show up now. Okay, cool. So what we can do too is hit reply right here, and then this would go directly back to him, and then we would just send this, and that would be a comment on the page. So there's the majority of these comments, as you can see, there's 2,000, but that's just because we didn't check them in here. But the majority of these are comments that we don't necessarily need to reply to, like this person said palm trees. Oh, and then we also asked them to name this manatee. We said, hello, my name is blank. So that's why there are a ton of comments, like this person thought his name or her name should be Monty, Floater, Bob, so original. So that's conversations. And then listening, this is probably one of my favorite tabs. So if you go over here to competitors, one thing that you can do is you can look to see, you can add your competition in here and analyze what they're doing. So what we did was we added Sarasota, Florida, because this account is called Around Sarasota. Best of the Sunshine State, visit Sarasota County, and visit Bradenton. So if I click on visit Sarasota, one thing, I go in here every month and review what they did well and maybe what didn't do well. So this is kind of like a secret weapon. So you can go in here and see most recent posts, but I look at their most liked posts. And then I go in here and see, okay, this one got 1.6 thousand likes. This one got 1.1, 1.1. So then I see if I can find content similar to that, and then we post it on our account. You can also see their follower growth, post history, their posting habits, which is really cool too. So you can see Thursdays and Fridays. I guess it doesn't, on here, it doesn't show the engagement rate, but they post around 10 a.m. primarily on Thursdays and Fridays. And then right here too, you can also see their hashtag usage. So this is another great way to do competitive research on hashtags for Instagram, is using this program, but you don't even need this program. You can just look at your competition and see what hashtags they're using too. And then this just has their overall engagement rate. So their engagement rate is pretty great as well, 3.21. So you can look at every single competitor, and on this overviews page, what you can do is it'll show you up here as well, total posts that they've done, average engagement rate, and I guess it goes, yeah, down by pages. And then the comparative table, so it kind of has an overview of you versus all of them, so you can see how well you're doing. And then this is the tag usage overall, so hashtags that they're using, follower growth, post history, comments history, likes history. So this program, this is the best program that I've seen, particularly for Instagram, because it really takes a deep dive into all of the analytics and everything that basically you would want to know about your Instagram. So we've been just using this. And it's just been such a help, because sometimes you want to know what's working well for your competitors in order to give you inspiration, not necessarily to steal, but I think to get inspiration is really great because they're like accounts and they're doing something similar to what you're doing. So this has been a huge help with us as far as looking to see competitor research, hashtags, looking at what's working, what's not, and then just the overall feel of the accounts too. So let me know if you all have any questions, but that's what I wanted to walk you through today.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's so amazing. I did not know this tool existed.
Yeah.
Lily, could you enable the chat feature? So does that only work for just Instagram, or can you also connect that with Facebook or LinkedIn?
I believe, I'm not sure if they have, okay, yeah, they have Facebook and Twitter, but no LinkedIn yet.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I haven't tested it with adding a Facebook profile, so I don't know if it's as in-depth, but this has just been an incredible resource for us so that we can kind of compare and, see what people are doing and maybe what we can do better.
Nice, for sure. We got a few questions coming into the chat. Christian and Lily, do you guys want to help moderate that?
Yes, certainly. So I'll go ahead and announce the first one. And before I do, just want to let everybody know any GB related questions, please, like Grant mentioned, send those directly to Grant, myself, or Lily. So the first question on here is actually from Dominic. They want to know, what are the best tools for social media analytics? So I know you went over some of the Instagram ones. Are there any particular ones that you use for any other media pages?
Yeah, so the tool for Instagram is called Iconosquare, and it's a really amazing resource. You can also get a ton of resources from Instagram itself. They have the insights, so you can see where your audience is. We kind of walked through that. The other tool that is related to social analytics, but not directly related, is Google Analytics. And that's really going to show you how much traffic is coming to your site from social media. So that's kind of like overall picture. But Buffer, they do have analytics. I didn't feel like they were the best ones, but as far as Instagram, that's the best tool that doesn't really answer your social media question, but I would recommend testing Iconosquare because they do have Facebook and Twitter. I've just never used it, but I feel if they've gone this in depth for Instagram, they'll probably give everyone a really good overview of Facebook and Twitter too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So the next question here is from Jan Manuel. They would like to know, what is considered a bad engagement rate?
It's really hard because each industry is different. I would say if an ideal engagement rate is right around 2%, and that sounds so low, but if you think about how we all interact, myself included, we kind of just scroll through. A lot of times we don't like something, we just, scroll by because we don't want to, or we don't, can't relate to it or something. So getting people to interact and to comment is something that takes a lot of effort because you have to evoke an emotion from people. So I would say a bad engagement rate would probably be like 0.5 and below, just depending on the industry though. And I do think that you can look up and research what engagement rates are. I think there's stats out there that you can do that and just compare it with what you're doing for your business or your account.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for that. We have a lot of really great questions coming in the chat. So this is from Megan. She's saying that she's a marketing intern for a real estate agency, and she would love to utilize this program that you just showed us. But she's wondering if you have to pay for this service.
I believe that you do. So this one, let me actually see. So I don't think that they have I think you could probably go to iconosquare.com/ or iconosquare.com maybe. It's not pulling up for me right now, but it is a paid service. In my opinion, I think it's a little bit on the expensive side. I think it's like $129 per month. And remember that we don't use it for anything besides social analytics. And that's how much I believe in social analytics, because $129 is just going to that for these accounts.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that. So this question, let's see. This question is from Tyler. So he says, do you specialize in just Instagram or do you do all social media?
We do all social media. I just love Instagram, and these are some Instagram accounts that we've built up, but we help people with Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Google My Business.
Awesome. And then this question is from, I'm going to butcher this name, Hania, maybe. They're asking, what would be the strategy for search engine optimization?
For search engine optimization, so it's kind of like a whole different animal as opposed to social media. So search engine optimization, you still have to do a ton of research, but you're researching instead of maybe like hashtags or what people interact with more, it's researching what people will search on Google. So doing keyword research instead of hashtag research, because think about how you search on Google. Like if you were looking for a marketing agency, and you're in the Orlando area, maybe you would type in marketing agency Orlando. You would want to write content or optimize your website, which means put keywords throughout your website so that when someone searches for that, Google crawls your site and understands that your page is related to their search topic. So that's kind of just scratching the surface, but then there are title tags, meta descriptions, there's the keywords within the content you have to link. So what I would recommend to you is to look up moz.com. It's moz.com. It's a really amazing resource for search engine optimization. Have you been on there, Christian? You're giving a thumbs up. Okay, cool.
Yes, you when you spoke with us last semester, you recommended that as a resource, and I went on there and completed their like beginners course.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, now so since I did that, I then did the LinkedIn skills assessment. So I get like any marketing intern positions, they'll send them to me. Hey, we're sending these to you first because you specialized in SEO. But I wouldn't have gotten that had it not been for the Moz beginner course, which is free, by the way, for everybody listening. It's a great resource.
Yeah, it's awesome. The whole team, they watched Whiteboard Friday, which I don't know. Yeah, okay, cool. Christian's watched it. If anyone wants to watch some, there's a plethora of all of the Whiteboard Fridays, but basically it's like 15, maybe 20 minutes, and they literally have a whiteboard behind them and they're just explaining things about SEO to you. So it's a really great thing just to keep up on new things and trending things in the SEO world.
Thank you so much. So we have another comment on here, and it says, do these tools and programs that you use, do they allow you to escape the comments for text analysis and overall themes and discussions people are having on larger accounts with like multiple comments on them?
As a tool, I don't think so. They're under conversations. Yeah, it's only our comments and our mentions, and then under listening, let me see. Well, actually, something that I didn't show you all, I can share my screen real quick again because this is something really cool too. What you can do is you can add feeds. So what I've done is add our competitors, our tags and mentions, and then hashtags to see what people are using for hashtags. So it's not really what you asked, but that's another cool feature as far as competition. And then under here, I forgot to show you all this, but they're hashtags that you can follow too. So for this account, I followed hashtag Sarasota. So that way I can see how many people are utilizing it, the post type. So obviously majority photos right now, and then the top posts. So we're an account that reposts other people's content. So like as an example, this would be a really amazing post to repurpose on our account and then give them credit right here. Because if it got 6,000 likes on their account with 68 comments, that's really great. It would probably get that much on our account too. So it's not really what you asked, but taking a deeper dive into competitors and utilizing all of those resources.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have another question. This one is from Grant Smith, and I actually want to add a layer on top of it. So his question is, what are your thoughts on Twitter fleets and LinkedIn stories? And I want to add another layer on there in terms of when you're helping somebody with their LinkedIn brand account, are there any tools for that? Just simply because I did a little bit of research once and I wasn't able to find any. And I actually follow you on LinkedIn and you're like amazing on there. So I'm just kind of curious how, not specifically you, but South Street, how you guys manage that.
Yeah. One of the things in this presentation that I didn't show you all that probably would have been beneficial too, that I'm just kind of thinking about from your question, is we send our clients reports every month. And we customize the reports where we showcase LinkedIn and the engagement rate, the followers. So we kind of take a deeper dive into the analytics that LinkedIn gives. Same thing for Instagram and all of the other accounts. But I don't know of a tool, like I just looked in Iconosquare, doesn't have it. You can post through Buffer on LinkedIn, or yeah, you can post through Buffer on LinkedIn, but their analytics are okay. I wasn't too thrilled with them. I really do like how simple and easy it is to post through it. But Also, as far as your question on LinkedIn stories, what I do is repurpose content again. So what I did, as an example, we had International Women's Day was Monday, and we had these really great graphics created, and I just popped it on my personal, popped it on the company LinkedIn page, posted it on my personal Instagram, posted it on the company Instagram, and kind of check, done. We don't do a lot with Twitter, so I'm not as familiar with that, but I personally, LinkedIn stories. The other thing so you all know, if you've seen LinkedIn stories, they're not available on desktop, they're only available on mobile. So that makes it, I mean, it's okay because the format is same as Instagram stories, where it's kind of like you're on your phone, but they don't have any like cool stickers. And I can't really say like, hey, DM me. And you click the DM, or you can't like, the stickers that they have are more like work related, and I like to be a little bit more personal too. But I think they released it, and they're probably gonna edit it and add things in the future. But for that, I repurpose content right now.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much for that. So we have another question from Ruben, and he's saying, will you mirror your personal account to a business account? I guess he means like when it comes to like social media accounts.
Yeah, I wonder if you mean like, would you post the same thing on your business account than you would your personal account, probably? And if that is the case, I would say it depends. So as an example, for a realtor, I could see a realtor, because it's them, they are the company. I could see them posting something the same or similar. What I recommend always doing on Facebook is posting first on the company page, and then going to your personal page, and then sharing it to your personal page, because then it's more likely to reach more people. Because remember, Facebook limits the amount of business people, or the amount of people that you reach on a business account as opposed to a personal account. So post it on your Facebook business page first, and then repurpose it to your personal page. But as far as Instagram, I don't personally do that. I put more like personal things, and then a little bit about business on my personal Instagram account. And then on the company page, it's all about business, or like personal in the sense of like what we're doing, like to get better at work, or to, enhance our learning, or to spruce up our workspace. It always relates back to something more business.
Yeah, I think they meant, I mean, there's two ways you can take that question, like you just explained, definitely, but also maybe they're meaning like um, pretty much just like promote their personal page as you do for businesses. In my personal opinion, like I would think that would apply if you're like an influencer, then yes, because you're your own business, but not like necessarily if you just have a personal account where like family and friends follow you. Well, I don't know if you want to speak on that.
Okay, so well, the first thing that I would say is, if you have a personal account, you don't have analytics. So that's a big thing. You can have a creator account and a business account. So if someone's like, oh, I want to maybe make my personal account a business account, then I could potentially see that. But the other thing that people have said is, oh, I've built up all of these followers on my personal account. Can I make it my business account? And the answer is yes. But if you look back through someone's feed, it looks kind of awkward if you have like, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you have pictures with your kids, or very like a home life, and then all of a sudden you're talking about business, it can be a little bit weird. And also, there's a million excuses for people to not use you, to hire you, or to work with you. So I wouldn't give them another reason to maybe think, okay, what's going on? Did this person just start this account? So to kind of question that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with cross promoting what you're doing for the business onto your personal account as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I forgot like you need a business account to have those features like the analytics and whatnot. So we have another question from Nia again, and they said, as we start the small businesses, how can we build trust with customers?
Mm, that's a great question. So trust verifiers that are really great are asking for reviews. So one thing that all small businesses should do is ask for reviews from the very beginning, because it's so hard to go 2 years in the past and say, hey, by the way, do you remember that I helped you fix your car or create your website? Can you leave me a review now? And it's kind of like, that's a little bit late. So start asking for reviews now, start collecting emails now, because once you create your website, you'll want to put those reviews on your website. Also, see if you can get featured in any publications. Sometimes publications will do free stories because they're in need of really cool content. So you can either pitch them ideas, or maybe if you can enter in for, an award for like a small publication, any of those things that you can put on your site really help with trust verification.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And then, okay, this question is from Naya. She says, how do you continuously implement fresh ideas? What stimulates your creativity?
That's a really great question. Honestly, following not only competitors, but people that inspire me. So it was really interesting because I was talking to a friend and I was like, oh, did you see this person from college? Or, oh, did you see this person from college? And she was like, no, I don't use my social media like that. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't want to follow anyone from college that I don't talk to anymore, anyone from high school. She's like, all I do is follow people that I want to see about and read about. And for me, that was like so shocking because I didn't use social media like that. I just like connected with these people and I've been connected with them for like 10 years or 5 years or whatever. And it was just kind of, it was what it was. But she follows so many accounts that she gets inspiration from. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. So I follow a lot of people that inspire me on social media. I save a lot of things on Instagram. I created those little folders. If you all know, you've saved things and I label them. Pinterest is a really great place that I get inspiration. Moz to know what's trending, Social Media Examiner, if anyone's interested in social media, they have a ton of amazing resources. But also listening to podcasts. There's a new one out. I put it in our Slack channel, but I was actually listening to it right before. It's called Big Money Energy. And it's from, if you all have watched Bravo, it's from Ryan Serhant, Million Dollar Listing New York. So he built this like huge company. And I don't know if you all know this, but he came to New York to be an actor and he only got jobs doing hand modeling, which is kind of offensive if you think about it. So he got jobs doing hand modeling, and then he started to become a realtor because he needed to make some money and ended up loving it. And then he was on Bravo. Now he's like a bazillionaire. So his podcast is great, and that really inspires me because he talks to some incredible people. And then also reading books. So we just finished a book by Marie Kondo, just about having joy, sparking joy in the workplace. And then this month, let's see, I know we thought about one. Do you remember what it was, Paula? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's called Dare to Lead.
Oh, right. Yeah, by Brene Brown.
Mhm.
So I love reading books. If you all don't have time to read books, I listen to them on Audible. It's $14.99 per month and you can download one book and it's really convenient. Also, pro tip, if you like reading books like on your iPad or your phone, there's a free app that you can get called Libby. It's Libby, and you can integrate your library card in there and then put digital books on hold. And then you don't have to worry about taking them back to the library because that's the worst.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for that. So here we have another question. It's by Carmen. They would like to know what skills and experience are needed to break into influencer marketing management.
I mean, any skills, any experience that you can get with working with other people, working at social media marketing agencies, running social media accounts, showing results for them, but just getting into that space. If you're looking to get into social influencer marketing, I would highly recommend looking at IZEA. It's IZEA. It's a company local here to Orlando, and I've heard really great things about them. There's also a company that's hiring right now called, Statusphere. Yeah, not stratosphere, but Statusphere. And they work with influencer accounts too. So they're kind of the connector. So brands will send them products and then they'll match the products with the influencers. So it's pretty cool. But I was actually on if anyone, I don't know if you all were, and if anyone was in the GEB panel for the Failing Forward panel that we did maybe like a couple weeks ago. But anyways, there is a lady on there, and it's just a really incredible company. They're local to Orlando. They went to, I think, Silicon Valley and got like funding and everything. So it's a really amazing company, and it's also women led, which I love at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. A lot of amazing information here. So I have another question here. This one's from Juan. They would like to know, do you think the content itself that is posted is equal, less, more important than out to reach research needed for audience/traffic?
So do you think the content is, how important is the content than the outreach research needed for the audience or traffic? Well, I really think that the research is first because, you know, if we're looking at trendy topics, but you're like trending topics on TikTok, but your audience on your particular page is like 35 or 40 and above, it's probably not going to be relatable. So then the content itself, whether or not you do a really great job on it, just won't do anything for your audience. So I think that what you need to do first is research for your particular audience, and then create the content based around that audience. And what we do is create a persona. So if you don't know what that is, what it is you basically create a made up person, a faux person, and you name them a name and you say, so-and-so, let's say it's Mary. Mary shops at Target and she likes drinking wine and hanging out with the other moms in the neighborhood. So you just make this persona of Mary, and then you write all of your content directed to Mary, or Mary and, Steve, this other persona that you have. So I think it's really important to research first who your audience is, and then also create the content really specifically geared towards them.
Thank you so much for that. We have the last two questions. So Hania is asking, what do you think about Pinterest and how the analytics work?
All right. So Pinterest, I love it for personal use. It's a little bit hard for business use, but I'll give you a pro tip here. If you're interested in learning more about Pinterest, there's an agency that's also woman owned, and it's called Simple Pin Media. And they have a podcast. I would highly recommend that everyone or anyone interested in it listens to it. It comes out every week. They have so many just free tips and just amazing content to get you started on Pinterest. And they also, if anyone's thinking about starting their own business in the future, they created a coaching program to teach you how to do Pinterest consulting and create a Pinterest social media marketing agency. But at the same time, to just circle back to the question, I understand Pinterest's analytics, but I don't know if they're at the level that maybe Instagram and Facebook are yet. It's also really hard because the whole goal with social media is to drive people back to your website and educate them and just have them read your articles. And the majority of people on Pinterest don't leave the platform unless they're super interested in things. So it's figuring out how to convert them from Pinterest is a big thing that can be a challenge.
Yeah, I definitely like Pinterest personally, just to create like mood boards and just to find inspiration, because it's like a great like resource to use, and there's always so much content in there. Okay, and the last question is from Gabriela, and she says, what tips do you have to keep your engagement high with the algorithm constantly changing?
Oh my gosh. this is not really a tip, but it's like the best piece of advice. I would say you just have to test and see what works and what doesn't. So I'll give you some examples. We've been testing some new content, and Paula's been helping us with that. So helping us with Instagram stories, just to see which stories work, which stories don't. But one thing that we just did, I'm like super excited about this. Let me see if it shows up. Okay, yeah. So on the downtown, I kind of scrolled up. On the downtown Orlando account, we've been working on reels. And I don't know if you guys can see, but this reel, I just posted it yesterday and it got already 11.1 thousand views. And it's literally so simple. So it's about this, right? It's about this fountain. And I mean, this thing is like 15 seconds long and people are just loving it. And I read the comments today and I was like, oh my gosh. So people were like, I'm loving the content that you guys are putting out. I had no idea about this fountain. This is so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to start creating more content. But I just don't feel like there's a great way to answer this. I will give you a pro tip. One of our team members did see that Facebook, on particularly Facebook ads, doesn't allow you to say comment below or anything asking for interaction anymore. So one of the ads that we were running had that verbiage in it, and it analyzed it and gave us feedback and said that it was denied because we asked them to comment below. So what I would say is, let me pull up, because I just showed you all this. Let me pull up this really funny image of, okay, well, this one did super well. So this is on Sarasota and it got over 1,000 likes, which you guys know it's hard to get. So, and it also, oh, nice. I didn't even see this. It got 109 comments. So I would say that's a win. And if we look at okay, you guys, this reached 35,000 people, just this one post. And it got 109 comments, 50 people shared it, and I can't read that, 15 people saved it. So let me tell you what we did for this. We put this cute little manatee, and then it was that one that I showed you guys in the analytics. We said, hello, my name is blank. And then we said, name this manatee below or something like that. Yeah, name this manatee. And we just tagged the person who took the image, gave them credit, and then she was super excited. But oh my gosh, 3 people put Manny in a row. That's so funny. Manny, this person said sweet. I mean, some of the people, Sandra, salty, cutie, patootie, Teddy, Mangus, love, Daisy. But needless to say, this is a good way to get engagement. But the thing that you have to think about is, how can you ask for engagement without literally saying comment below? So it's getting people, like, think about how you would engage. Like, this is a fun post, you see this manatee and then you're like, oh, name this manatee. This is awesome. I've never been able to name a manatee before. And you just get like fun and creative, and it's like 2 seconds out of your day, but it makes you smile. So how can you evoke that same emotion? And it's hard. These accounts are easier for our business accounts. For our clients, it's harder. Like, we have a septic company. How do you get someone to comment on a septic company? Like, I don't know. It's just really hard, and it just varies for every single business. But the main piece of advice that I can give you, that's like super, I mean, it's like not really, I mean, it's not really a strategy, but it's just a test and see what works and what doesn't. And yeah, and test everything. Test stories, test the time of day, test hashtags, switch up your hashtags, test the type of images that you're posting, test the links in your bio, test the types of like filters that you use, test posting on Instagram versus scheduling it out. There's so many things that you can test, but just see what's working. And then also look at competitors too, because if they're doing really well, then maybe you can take some tips and ideas from them.
Thank you so much for your answers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Katelyn. We really appreciate all this insight. I'm definitely applying a lot of this to my internship right now. Like, a lot of this has been super insightful for us. We wanted to know, would you be open for us doing like a group photo?
Yeah, let's do it. Can I do it on my end too?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Let me get ready.
And then for anyone in the audience, feel free to turn your camera on to be part of the group photo. It'll be posted on some of the social medias.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm ready. Okay, everyone wave, smile and wave. Ready? Good to go. Okay, perfect. I'll post this on my LinkedIn too. So if you all are on there and you see yourselves, feel free to like comment and help my engagement. Just kidding. Really, I'd love to connect with you all on LinkedIn. You can just type in my name. I have a bright pink shirt on, but if you all have any questions or anything else, I kind of wish someone would have been real with me in college. Not that people weren't, but kind of like get into the nitty gritty of everything, how marketing works. So if I can help you all anymore, just feel free to reach out.
Thank you again so much, Katelyn. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, you guys have a great night. Good seeing you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining tonight. If you need GB points, hold on a second before you leave. I need to share a little bit more information with you all. Let me pull it up. There we go. So we got the agenda. So if you're interested in becoming a member of AMA UCF and attending more great events like these and getting access to other resources and opportunities, here's a little bit of information. Feel free to take a screenshot on this. But a brief overview is that in order to become a member of AMA UCF, you first have to become a member of AMA National. And to do so, it's just a $29 student fee on ama.org. You have an option to pay an additional $5 to join the AMA Orlando chapter, to talk with their members, get in contact with them and attend their events at free or reduced prices. And then to become a member of AMA UCF,